Hey, what's up, folks? And welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noel Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Pedro's Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right. This is where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are hanging out in the Discord chat room. We'll take a moment to greet everybody that's joining us live. And if you'd like to join the Discord chat room, we have a URL, which is right up here at the top of our screen. The URL is discord.gg/Adafruit, and that'll get you an invite link to our Discord. We're hanging out in the live broadcast chat room, and we'll take a moment here to welcome all of the lovely attendants. Hello, Duester. We got Andy Calloway, Vince Farg, Jim Henderson, and Rosin. Welcome, welcome. You all right, Peter?
Yep. Just everything cool. Playing. All the previews are playing.
Yes. Yes. Yep. We have some folks in the YouTube chat as well. We have Connor McCarter and Projects in Dad's Garage. Good morning. We're also hanging out in the Facebook chat rooms and the YouTube and Twitch. So this is running off a StreamYard, and it kind of brings all the chats together. So say hello and ask any questions as we go through the show. I'm going to go ahead and do some housekeeping to get us started. Let's start off with some deals. You go to adafruit.com/free. You can find out all the deals that are going on. And we also have a special 10% discount code for any physical products in the shop. And the code this week is SNAPFIT, all one word, all lowercase. So make sure to make it all one word and a lowercase word, SNAPFIT. And yeah, we'll see why later in the show, why it's SNAPFIT. But you could guess already. So let's take a look here. Any orders that are $99 or more, you're going to get a free flexible LED noodle. That's the 3-volt, 133 millimeter long, warm white colored noodle. For orders that are $149 or more, you get the noodle plus the Adafruit KB2040. That's that keyboard driver. It can run CircuitPython, Arduino, and many other firmwares. For orders that are $200 or more, you get the KB2040, the noodle, and ground shipping from UPS, and that's continental US only. And then for the big one, for $299 or more, you'll get all that stuff plus a BBC Microbit version 2. And check out adafruit.com/free for those details. Heading over to the jobs board at jobs@adafruit.com. It's a good place to check out if you are in the market for a new gig or if you're looking for makers to help you with your projects. I'm seeing here we have a new listing for a CNC programmer/maker for machine histories, and that is in the Los Angeles, California area. So if you want to post a job or look for a job, just go to jobs@adafruit.com. Let's see here. Next up, we have some newsletters. adafruit.com/newsletter. Let me see if I can find an image for that. There it is. adafruit.com/newsletter. You can subscribe to that if you want to get notified in your email inbox about all the latest happenings in the shop. adafruit.com/newsletter for that. And that's pretty much the housekeeping. So I'm going to go back over to Discord and say hello to anybody we might have missed. And then we're going to jump into the project.
Happy Wednesday. We are checking to see when these Raspberry Pis drop.
Yeah, Sergey is asking if we have any Raspberry Pis. Yeah, normally Wednesdays. Normally on Wednesdays we do have Raspberry Pis, but things may have changed, but we'll see.
Real quick, Projects in Dad's Garage want to find a project for the noodles. Did Erin release her guide yet on the noodles?
Maybe. Yeah, there's a couple of noodle projects. We have some 3D printed projects and some more kind of crafty projects that use noodles.
Yeah, this one might be cool. This one is from Erin. And of course, why can't I type? Happen.
You want me to pull it up?
Chat box. I'm trying to post the link in the chat and it won't go. Discord, it's fine. Oh, everything's trying to reload now. Perfect timing for that.
Well, I see it here. It's in the Discord. Got a light up costume with noodles. We also have some 3D printed signs. I think we have a noodle shop sign for Lego and a snowflake. And I also have a layer on how to design little snap fit kind of signs, these neon signs that use the noodles. So you can take a look at those if you have a 3D printer. And if not, you could always sew it or add it to existing things like Erin has here in her light up costumes. Yeah, all good stuff. All right. Are we ready to jump into this week's project?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump in to some snap fit goodness.
Okie doke. If you head on over to learn.adafruit.com, you can see our latest Learn guide has been published. And it's a snap fit case for the Feather Scorpio RP2040. And you can go to the Learn guide to get the files. It's right here in the CAD files page. We have two STLs. There's a top and a bottom case. We have the CAD source files available as well. So if you want to modify it in your CAD package of choice, you can use the step file. Or if you have Fusion 360, you can use the original source file. They're pretty small, so it's going to fit on just about all of the 3D printers, even the smaller, like let's say the resin printers. So we're looking at 60 millimeters by 50 millimeters, which should fit most 3D printers. And we also have CAD files for the Scorpio RP2040 Feather in our GitHub, which is linked here. So if folks want to get access to that, they can make custom enclosures for that board, the Feather RP2040 Scorpio. Quickly over to the assembly page. We go over just installing it. I'm going to skip this for now because I actually want to show it live in our overhead here. If I can switch over. So let me remove that, stop screen, present, and I have an overhead shot of my desk here. So here is the bottom half of the case. It has a couple features. We got mounting tabs on the side in case you want to zip tie this or secure it with some M3 screws to some other surface. We have some openings. We got a port for the USB here. We got a port for the battery right there. And then we have this large gap here for a 2x8 header pin. So the Feather comes with two of these header pins that are specifically designed for connecting the 8 consecutive neopixels. So right here shows the right angled one installed, which is really nice. It also ships with a straight angled header. So for the case, I recommend kind of putting it on the bottom like that. But you also have access here on the bottom of the case to those pins there. And the silk screen does a good job of showing you what's happening there. So you have 8 GPIO pins for your neopixels. And then all of these below that are ground connections noted by that little minus sign there. If you are doing something that's more power hungry, I recommend breaking out the USB voltage pin and a ground pin. That way you have the ability to power the neopixels separately from a bigger power supply. Let's say you have 1,000 neopixels. You're going to want something with 5 volts, 10 amps. So you could connect this to that power supply. And on the case, you have a slot here, which allows access to some additional wires. If you have a connector, you might want to feed it in before you solder it, or you could modify this in CAD to make this opening bigger, or it could be used as a mounting slot. So you can secure this first and then secure the Feather after. But the way to get the Feather secured in there is with 2 M2.5 screws. These are the 10 millimeter long versions. And then 2 hex nuts. And when you're installing the hex nuts, you just got to be careful not to kind of overlap those chip LEDs. So that could be something to look out for. But other than that, I recommend the nylon screws so that you don't short anything out. And we have a kit with various sizes and standoffs. So definitely check those out. But yeah, that is the feather hanging out there. The top cover has these snap fit bits here, and then these two kind of end stops that kind of keep it from shifting around. But the way to line it up is that it's always going to have the straight alignment here goes lined up with the feather. And the USB port is over here. You might be wondering, what's this tab here? I added this little tab because when you actually snap fit it, you kind of run out of, you can't really pull it open. So I use that tab there to kind of open that out. So you can always pull that back out like that. The slots should allow the 12 and the 16 header pins if you have them pointing up. They'll work pretty well. If you have them installed down, it's not going to really work on this case. I guess you could add another set of slots here at the bottom. But the idea is that your feather wing, if you had one, would fit on top like that. So that's why I have those slots there. You can kind of see them through the holes. And you could also have wires come out of here too if you really had something extensive like that. But yeah, that in a nutshell is the feather case, snap fits. That's the coupon code today. And yeah, it's just kind of a quick little case to kind of keep your Feather Scorpio secured, and you have some mounting options there. So that is the case. And there is the Feather Scorpio. We actually have it in stock right now. It's about $14.95, I think it is. But definitely use that coupon code right there if you want to pick up your Scorpio. Again, it comes with those header pins. I have some other kind of things that I want to try out. I didn't have the time to try it out, but we have these IDE cables. This is a 2x8 IDE cable. And these are normally used for like our RGB matrix displays, but they're both these socket, or actually not, they're sockets, right? The plug is what plugs into the socket. So the idea here is that you could have a nice clean connection between these header pins here, the 2x8, and then this 2x8 here. So you can just connect this if you line it up right. You can plug that in there, and now you have a nice a way to kind of connect NeoPixels. I guess one thing I would do is cut this off and then like splice this into a perma board maybe, or some other, the NeoPixel strip themselves, or some JST connectors, whatever option you want for your project. But that's one of the things I wanted to try out. And if we put this one into the case, you actually have an opening here for that to come in. So let me go ahead and do that. Maybe you can take some questions, Pedro, while I do some live assembly here. When you take this out, you just want to use your finger here to hold that hex nut, and then you can take out the M2.5 screw. And while I do this, there's a good opportunity here to show there's a little extra feature. Because there's only two mounting holes, I have two standoffs there that have about 3 millimeters of space. So you do have a little bit of gap here for wires and headers to sit in there. But you'll notice that there's these little clips at the end there, and that is there so that you can slide the feather in. So you can see here I have these external power cables. You want to feed them through the slot first, like so. And then you'll want to, at an angle, get the end to fit under those little clips. And then you'll see that 2x8 header pin allows those pins to kind of come out. And then you'll just want to line up your mounting holes like so. Pop in your screw. This is a 10 millimeter long screw, which is a good length. They'll pop in through the mounting hole in the feather. And then you'll have to kind of use a little finesse to get that hex nut in there. Let's see if I can do it. Yay. My screwdriver fell off the table, so I'm having to manually screw this in. But you get the idea. And there you go. Just make sure you don't overlap that tiny little chip LED. And then you get the last one in there. It's always like a a balance of like how small do I want my case? And if you make it super tight, then your finger can't get in there to get screws in there. So that's why there's a little bit of gap in between the edge of the PCB and the edge of the case there. I always tend to have a little bit of gap there. But there you go. Now you have your 2x8 header pin. I can plug this in here if I line it up, and that snugly fits in there. So you got this kind of nice little clean solution. I mean, you're going to have wires coming out anyway, but I think that's kind of clean to have this IDE cable. It's also recommended in the product learn guide of the Scorpio that you can use this type of cable. And we have these in stock as well. There's also a little white line here just kind of indicate where, like maybe that's a ground or something. So yeah, but I have yet to use it. You can see here, I don't really have anything else there. But yeah, you could cut this off and splice it into the strips themselves or into connectors. Yeah, so that's the case. We can take a look at it in Fusion 360. And just kind of get an idea of, let me share my screen here for Fusion. There it is. So here's what it looks like. All of the features that make up the case are down here. Let's say you want to modify the bottom here, like if you wanted to open that up. Most of the things are going to have sketches. Most of the things are labeled under the case component. There's the battery hole. If you wanted to remove that, you could always change that. There's the bottom hole here. You can see it's a 5 by 20 millimeter long. So if you wanted to make that bigger, maybe you could go like 8. You just got to be careful where if you want it to be lined up perfectly with the edge, you could always reduce the distance here. And that's kind of how it's set up. So everything is down here. It's parametric, and it's the timeline here shows you all of the features that are in there. You can see the hardware screws are in there as well. And yeah, maybe you wanted to change the mounting tabs. I have that labeled here. So if you wanted to make it bigger or smaller, all of the sketch dimensions are there for modifying those tabs. And I tend to keep the sketches named. So if you wanted to change any of that, you can see here, here's the header hole. It's got a specific dimension for that, and you can always adjust it if you like. But yeah, that is kind of the design in a nutshell. Yeah, definitely check it out if you have Fusion 360, and if you have something like FreeCAD, you could use the step file. The sketches should show as well, and it should have the same structure. You're just not going to get some of the things like the silk screen and some of the materials. That's just one of those things. But you don't really need them. There's just kind of visual things. So that is the design in Fusion. And let's see. Have I been sharing my screen? Yes. Okay, good.
I jumped on it. I'm getting super annoyed. I cannot find this freaking cable in the shop.
Oh no, the IDE cable?
I tried IDE.
Here we go. I have it right here for you. It's PID 4170. Good thing I have the bag right here.
4170. There we go. Yeah. GPIO ribbon cable.
That's
it. We need to add some.
We need to. I mean, that's what it says. Yeah, GPIO IDC cable 2x8.
Yeah, I know, but like it should be.
I know the search can be a little tricky
for IDE cable.
Yeah, that's just one of those things. Are they in stock? Do you see them?
Yes, they. No, they are not in stock. Of course not. That's why I had to ship you.
That's right. I forgot. Well, if you have some, then you know what's up.
That's where it'll be. Because
that's where it'll be.
It's not even it should be linked as a. Hey, you might like this. You might need this. Like in the product pages. That's where I was looking. It's like, why is this not here?
I think it is in the Learn Guide. Let me see.
That's where I went. That was the second place I went to.
Oh, really?
Yup.
Maybe Yeah, here's the product learn guide for the Feather. You're going to find a lot of stuff like example code and, you know, the pinouts and all that stuff. Let me see here. Yeah, this is a good pinout here. This is the pretty pins. So when you're doing Arduino code or CircuitPython code, you just want to reference the pin names. It recently got updated, which is great because the pretty pins reflects how you want to name and write code for the various pins on the NeoPixel port there. But yeah, this Feather has a lot of features. It's got that STEMMA QT port, so you can connect sensors easily, plug and play, and all of the GPIO are here. You get about 21 GPIO, but it's really cool that you can basically do like multitasking with this Feather, so that the NeoPixels are kind of running consecutively, and they're super fast. So you can do that DMA stuff using the NeoPixel 8 library. And next week's project, this holiday tree that you may have seen in the background of my video here, and in the video that we shared on YouTube this morning of the case, there's a little holiday tree project that uses that NeoPixel 8 library. Yeah, and there's just some more info on like powering 1,000+ pixels and what you want to look out for. So check that out. Yeah, every project's going to be a little bit different, so we try to kind of accommodate for all of them with our documentation. And shout out to Phil B for hitting up this learn guide. It's pretty beefy. For a beefy board, requires beefy documentation. And if you want to get that Feather, there it is. It's in stock. You get 10% off it with the coupon code SNAPFIT.
Woo-hoo.
Excellent. And that is this week's projects.
Cool. Like.
Yay.
All right, quick jump over to Raspberry Pi. Nothing in stock yet.
Oh, that's fair. But keep your eye. Maybe later tonight we'll get some Raspberry Pis.
Looks like some new stuff going in the shop. All right, cool. Let's go ahead. Where are my titles over here? Let's go ahead and jump into this week's. What are we prototyping? Where are the backgrounds?
I can add your video.
Where am I?
You are here. There you are.
All right. Let's go ahead and check out what we're working on this week. What are we prototyping? All right, let's go ahead and jump over to our camera over here.
Yep, there you are.
Oh, cool. So really cool inspiration on Instagram that caught Lamar's attention. It was a rocket lamp. Everybody loves space and exploration here, so it'd be really cool to make a night light, of course, for bebes, with CircuitPython and a bunch of the parts that we have in the shop. So Liz coded up this very awesome rocket. So it has the rotary encoder that controls the Feather RP20 with a proto Feather inside. And
the PropMaker, yeah. The PropMaker is a great board. It gives you lots of features for your Feather, so you can just plug in NeoPixels. It gives you a nice port for speaker audio output. It also has some fancy things like high voltage for RGB LEDs, like 3 watts, and you can power it off just a regular 3.7 LiPo battery.
Yeah. So what we got here is she has Liz coded some functionality. So with the rotary encoder, you can switch between functions like the brightness, which you probably won't be able to see as well here in this bright room, and the volume. So she added some real sound effects from Flyover of Saturn. So we're playing an MP3 on there. She has volume control. And if you click in, snap of that. So if we click in, you can change the mode into the NeoPixels. You can kind of see there. It's going up and down.
That's great.
So brightness, and you can kind of see there.
I love that the onboard LED on the rotary encoder changes to let you know what mode you're in. That is slick. I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, so it changes between blue and red to let you know what mode you're in. That's super awesome.
Yeah. Now this is a prototype, but the idea is to have the fan. Now there's an actual fan that's blowing air.
There's a fan inside.
It's supposed to have this kind of flame effect, and we've done that in a previous project where we used a piece of tissue paper or like a silk, a piece of fabric essentially that creates this fake flame effect. No fire needed. It's actually cool air, you know. So with the added NeoPixel, it gives you that really nice effect.
You gotta play around with the design of the flame.
And like powering it. Yeah, we just got word from Lamar that we should use one of the RGB pins to get that high voltage to power that 5-volt fan that's nestled in between. You made a really cool bracket that kind of contains all the boards in this circuit sandwich, which we like to. That's our term that we like. It looks super cool.
Jump into Fusion. Let's see if I can show that. Where am I? Where's my mouse? Right. Oh, I wanted to show what the brightness looks like.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Here for, I guess the color profiles are different, but you can see here the diffusion.
The illumination is, look at that. The whole thing lights up. Very nice rocket lamp.
And it's
kind of modeled off the
SpaceX one. Yeah, the little module.
Capsule.
What is it called? Yeah, the capsule
dragon
that they have.
Dragon.
Yeah, one of the dragon capsules. That looks pretty dang cool when it's
it's at night.
Its intended environment, like at night, like a diffusion on it. We posted about, if you want to know the PLA for this, it's just ivory white PLA. It's got a really good diffusion. It's on Amazon. You can find it by just searching for that.
Yeah. That's great. And you can paint details or add details if you want to customize it to your kid or something.
Like the framing that was around the inspiration for this, which I should have had loaded up.
That's fine. You get an idea. Rocket lamp made with like steel pipes, but this is all 3D printed. It's a lot more safe and lightweight.
What was I going to show before getting sidetracked on that?
Sorry.
Stop, present, share. Oh, Fusion. Let's go ahead and jump into Fusion.
The model. Yeah, to look at the mounting.
How everything's stacked. I don't want to take it apart now because I still got to do stuff to it. But here's how everything is laid out. Here's a inspection side view of it. You can see how if I get rid of the bodies here, you can see how let's see, how do I rotate around? There you go. So everything, so there's a mount for the LEDs.
Yeah, which NeoPixel ring, right?
Yeah, so we're using two. It's the 16 and the 24. So 16 points down, and that illuminates the flames. And then the 24 NeoPixel up here, let's bring those back in, illuminates the rest of the rocket body. So that's pointing up, and the 16 is pointing down, and you have all these like areas for the wires to come out of, and then these little mounting holes right here. That is where the fan is mounted to.
Oh, brilliant!
Like that. So you have some tabs.
That's great.
Bring that fan mount in. See how that mounts on like that. It's always interesting trying to figure out how to mount all this stuff together like a circuit sandwich.
That is the main work for real. So
it
internal
is.
Structure. Yeah. That's why that's fascinating to look at. It's a really good solution here. They're all modular, so if you needed to change the tolerances, you could just print out one bracket as opposed to one bracket that would be I think for cosplay props, like people definitely take note of how you want to have your thing stacking and nice and compact. That's the name of the game. When you're doing a cosplay prop, you want to compact everything. So if you want to do some sort of I don't know, weapon or something, you can definitely reuse this.
Easily be adjusted to a weapon. So so just a confidence boost for anybody who is looking at, oh no, the screws that I'm going to need for this is going to be so tiny. These are M2 by 8 millimeter long screws, and this prints out pretty good as long as your printer is calibrated. This is nice and strong, and it holds everything together. So once you have that fastened onto the LED mount, fan mount goes on top, and then on top of the fan, after it's mounted, what goes on top of that is the feather mount. So then here's the plate for that. The Feather RP2040 goes on top of that with the PropMaker. So that's how that mounts. So going into there, and we're mounting these with the included screws that come with the fans, the 5-volt fan. And the fan, we'll hold on to the feather. So the RP2040 feather will mount onto this part. And then because the PropMaker is attached with headers, we now have an additional mount. So we can use the PropMaker to mount the speaker.
I love the speaker too. The mini oval speaker is great. Yeah, it's a little speaker that can pack a lot of punch.
Sounds really. And then you can mess. What's so cool about this design is you can mount this facing down or facing up, depending on how the cavity of your design is. So you can have it amplify a lot better based on how the cavities are for the speaker. So it'll mount both ways, and that's pretty much it, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Pipe.
That's massive.
Goes on the side.
Oh, right. The kind of base, the umbilical cord for these rockets. That's a really smart way to do it.
Yes, we're using the DIY ribbon cable USB-C to USB-A, so that'll just funnel through here, or route through here, along with the stemma cable, which is connecting the rotary encoder, and then the JST for the power, and anything else you want to route. Actually have to make it just a little bit wider to accommodate the lid. I forgot to calculate the lid. I need space for the lid to pop into and to hide that.
Okay. Yeah, a little cover to kind of cover the wire. That's cool.
And then all this is going to route down into, I could pan down here, more mounts down here. There's going to be another case that's going to house the rotary encoder and a very cool retro style switch that has like that cover. It lets you pop it. I should have brought it out here. It looks so cool.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Little
it's like an aviator.
Cover off. Exactly. Yeah, the on and off switch will be on there. And that should be like a pretty cool rocket.
Yeah, dude, this is cool.
Gone through a bunch of night light type things for Gavin throughout the years, and I've never seen one where it had this type of functionality where it had the noise with everything. The brightness control, where you can
white noise,
stick your own MP3, just drop in your own MP3 and get your own audio in there. It's always like a limited set of audio to choose from. And then you could never adjust the brightness on that. So this is so cool that you could do that. And then, of course, the rocket body, you can, all of that is editable. So super cool to be able to have.
Super cool. I like the idea
that the kids now want one. And Declan is like so mad that when I showed it to him, the flame wasn't on there. He's like, "Where's the flame, Daddy? Wow,
not done yet."
I want the flame.
That's fun. Yeah, I think this is good to for like going further. If you can if folks that are into writing the software, you can have any number of sensor, a temperature sensor that could use the ambient temperature to change the color or change the sound. You can have it controlled over IoTs so that depending on the time of day, it changes. It can change the audio, the sound, and the light. So you have these three kind of senses that you can change.
The first thing that came to my mind was have one of the sensors. If the temperature gets 80 degrees or something hot, sound an alarm, send an email through IoT, and the freaking room is hot or something, so some way to alert you. Thinking the mindset of the I forgot that sock, the Owlet sock, where it could get your oxygen levels and the temperature of your kid. So this is a really good way to alert to. Wow.
With a PDM mic, you can add a PDM mic. So if it detects a certain threshold of volume, maybe the baby's crying, it'll alert you via IoT.
Good idea.
Using Whippersnapper or Adafruit.io. Yeah, there's this like fully featured baby rocket lamp, noisemaker, alerter, all things.
Yeah, there's so much things. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Really, really good. And I can see why Lamar was like, "Hey, I have a baby now.
Well,
I
when
have
you
ideas.
showed me, that's the first thing that flooded my mind. I was like, oh crap, adjustable audio, any the brightness again. That's stuff that I've not seen in any of the many night lights that we've gotten for Gavin over the years.
Yeah.
So yeah, super cool. It's like a Python powered. Liz did an excellent job of coding the getting all the comments in there to see what you need to get everything working. So you can adjust, like if you want to use different amount of neopixels or whatnot, you can easily adjust that. And of course, MP3s. I'll just drag and drop it right in.
Cool.
And you're good to go. Super cool. So this will be, just got to reprint the, or finish modeling the enclosure down here for the base. And then figuring out a good way to get the flame, tissue paper flame.
Yeah. Also, if you run into like issues with gravity, you could always have it at an angle, like a 45-degree angle. That way, the fan has a little bit more room. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I thought it would flutter more because gravity's pulling it down. I remember like with the torch, it was a little bit difficult because it could flop downwards. So. Let's see if we can play with that. Maybe adjust that at an angle. It's a good idea. Maybe you should mount to a tripod mount so you can adjust that way.
Right. And just so folks see the flame, this is what we're talking about. Our kind of little 3D printed torch frame that was inspired by Nick Daimlow's medieval torch project. Uses a gemma and just a neopixel jewel. But yeah, same effect. Yeah, very, very cool effect. That's scalable and you can modify it.
Show comments button is too dangerously close to the end broadcast button.
Oh wow, yeah, it is. I just realized
Connor is asking how many walls on the rocket model. This is 2 walls.
Yeah, right. So it's like a millimeter thick, or 1.5
millimeters thick.
Perfect. Yeah,
I do have in slicing. I have it set to 3 walls, but I can only see 2. When I had it set to 2 walls, like there was definitely under extrusion.
Oh yeah,
on the model.
Okay.
So
yeah,
in your slicer.
Yeah, if you're
walls.
Yeah, if you're normally your wall thickness, like one perimeter is 0.4 millimeters. So just multiply that by how many you want. So if you want 4 or 3, it comes up as 1.2 millimeters, or 1.6 millimeters if you want 4 walls. But yeah, the idea is to have a right balance between being thin but not too thin that it like crumbles in your hand.
Yeah. Yep. That's what would happen. That's what could have happened. Yeah. And then was printing too fast, so I lowered that down. It kind of bleeds over into shop talk, but I don't have the thing that I wanted to shop talk about. The probe for my bed leveler broke. Like no, I have extra parts. That's what the whole thing was going to be about. Like, make sure you have extra parts.
Yeah,
one more of those
because you don't want to wait
needles.
a few days.
But I'll talk about it next week. Yeah, like the polarity on those like wear out or something. Because this isn't the first time where it's just the little needle. The thing that goes blip, blip.
Yeah.
To do the leveling or to check the leveling.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of
it wouldn't go up or down
stress.
Anymore. Like,
wow.
I don't see anything different inside of it, but I guess polarity runs out on the little magnet that's controlling it. I don't know. Put a new one in and it kept working perfectly.
Okay.
They're like $4 on Amazon. So
nice.
They should be here sometime today. But yeah, I was just gonna say, where's the thing? It's kind of like shop talk. Go ahead and make sure you always have extra parts, because you never know when it's right in the middle of trying to test something and I need to hurry up and test it.
I'm gonna go ahead and order some for our printer down here. So
it will happen.
I need to do that.
I think
it will.
I think they all come with it. Yeah.
Oh, it comes with an extra. Yeah, the ones from Tiny Machines.
It comes with an extra one, but that only gives you one chance.
That's right. It's like your spare tire in the back of your car.
That's like the
it's like a donut.
You need another one. Same thing with nozzles. Go ahead and just get a whole new BL Touch. Little component.
That you're not having to like take it apart too much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of shop talk, I got a shop talk. It'll be a real quick one though. Mainly just that we got some more CAD files on the GitHub repo. Let me load my screen here. And it's kind of an old one that's been updated. So Lamar's been doing a tear on updated dev boards. This is an old one, but a good one. The Metro Mini V2. It now has USB-C and Stemma QT for all sorts of sensors that are plug and play. It's still running off that 32U4, I believe. So it's limited to Arduino. But if folks like this board and want to do a drop-in replacement, it's got the same mounting holes and pin outs. So folks want a 3D model of that, you can pick up their Metro Mini V2. It's in stock, I believe, still. And there's your CAD file for it. And I have another shop talk. I have gone crazy with my Skadis metric pegboard from Ikea. I thought it'd be nice to kind of redraw the pegboard with the slots so that I can like create
model stuff
a bit of a so I can model stuff for it and know exactly how the hooks are going to go in. You can see here that it's kind of off, but that's because I've been experimenting with using user parameters to make it easy. So here I have user parameters, and you'll see here that I have something called slot QT, and that's the quantity of the slots. And each slot is about 40 millimeters of spacing, the distance between those slots. So if I wanted to put 3 and I hit enter, now you can see that the not only the brackets move, but the shelf that goes with the bracket has also moved. So let me make this 2, and it'll go exactly in those spaces. But because of the slots actually stagger a bit, so you can see the second row down, it's half of 40, which is 20. So if I were to put that back to 1, it would fit, but just one row below. And I haven't quite, made the file update so it goes down, but I don't think it really needs to. You just kind of know that inherently that, all right, it's going to go. So here's 4 slots across, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see the bracket, or the shelf rather, updates and the tabs stay in place. And I'm using screws to attach them. You can see here I got a little polygon, a little hex nut kind of cavity so that a hex nut could fit in there and stays locked in there. But yeah, I thought it'd be nice to kind of make the whole setup here. And this is like just a quarter of the square pegboard, because if I made the whole pegboard, it'd be massive. So I didn't really want to do that. But yeah, I'll probably share this file. You can see here in the timeline kind of how I pieced it together. I started with making the giant square and then putting the slots where they need to go. I only have 4 of them. I create an extrusion, and then I can use the rectangular pattern tool to kind of do this thing. But as you see, I get these edges that get clipped off. So I just created another set of lines, and then I fill that in, add some fillets, and then I start working on that bracket. And I like the idea of reusing this bracket for all sorts of things. So what I have here is this, instead of a shelf, I made this this little caliper holder. So I actually have a little custom thing for my calipers, my Mateo calipers. So let me set this back to 2, or rather 1, and then that's that only uses 1 unit, I guess. 1. Well, it's really 2, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like 1 slot distance, and that would work down here. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. And I'll share the files a little bit later. But that's just a little shop talk that I wanted to share with folks. Yeah, I'm really liking this this pegboard, and to have drawing the thing over and over again. So I like the idea of using parameters and being able to quickly just come in here and be like, all right, I need a bracket, I need a shelf. So look at that tiny shelf. In the shelf itself, you can look at the sketch here. You can change the width here. You could turn these values into user parameters too, but I could just have them hard coded. So let's say you wanted to make this go down more. Yeah, maybe you could do like 40. So you extreme. I'm gonna feel it broke there, but that's fine. And then you can make this a little bit shorter. Or now it's like more of a hook. You get the idea there. So I don't know. That's just a little bit of what I've been working on rather. So yeah, check out the Skadis pegboard from Ikea. There you go.
Very cool.
Excellent.
All right. Let me get my share window back. All right. Go ahead and jump into this week's Community Makes.
Yay.
This week on Community Makes, something that Kiddo has been wanting for quite a while. You actually tried modeling one? Or
yeah,
I think you were like
we made
it out of like a box.
Like a cardboard and some air drying clay.
Yeah. So we were super stoked when we saw somebody had modeled this guy up. Just the camera there.
Oh wow! Look at that paint job.
Man, this is Boxy Boo. And what I really like about this is, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's from it's from the video game. It's a spin-off of Poppy Playtime. It's Project Playtime. So it's like a multiplayer game, indie horror style game from Mob Games, the game studio. And cool. This is one of the characters. It's a bit of a Jack in the Box, but it's like this demonic, monster terrorizes the children. The kids love that. But this is cool because it has two different print in place kind of mechanisms. You got the mouth that can open and close with this print in place joint, and then you have like this technique that was known in like woodworking to make flexible joints. So you have these staggered slots here, and these reliefs rather, and they allow the limbs to bend slightly, which is pretty cool. That's reminiscent to the kind of slinky mechanism in a real Jack in the Box. So that's pretty cool. So how did you get the different colors?
Yeah, so these are all just acrylic painting. So for the mouth and all the blue and the yellow, it's just paint. You can kind of see the paint strokes on the back there. And it's about 5 coats. And don't have a multicolor little mechanism machine thing, so painting has to do. But yeah, just the regular, like the 88-cent acrylic paint that you find at Target or Walmart works pretty well. The only tip for that is just lightly brush on each layer. Don't try to do like a second brush or it will wipe it away. So one brush, move on to the next part of the that you're painting, and then just let it dry in between each layer. And, for the white, just glob it on not super thick where it's like dripping off. And then if you get any mistakes, like there's some, like that, you can just scratch that off after it's dried. So don't try to wipe it off or it will go into the layer lines, like into the crevices of the layers. So just wait for it to dry, and then you can just scrape it off with a hobby knife or anything that has like an edge. And it comes off pretty easy. So just get it off like that.
Cool.
And fix any mistakes.
All right.
I think you pretty much said everything else. Just the hingy stuff, and then the print in place little mouth. Super cool. For the printing, I did have to use I think it was like 10 brims, so to hold everything together, so nothing would fall out of place, and no supports. This is a paid model. It's like $2, I think. And one cool thing is Brandy was at Target and noticed that they have now Poppy Playtime toys at Target, so it is hitting mainstream.
Oh now. Wow, that's great.
It feels
Here is
bad.
the the design on Colts 3D. That's the website where folks can market their designs. They have free stuff as well. But yeah, this one's from yep, this one is from FlexiArt is their name. And there you have a couple photos here. So did you scale it up at all? This looks like 100%.
No.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Oh, even the claws can be
I know. The kids are telling me the claws aren't painted. It's like, yo, I'm out of time.
Oh, that's
sorry.
funny. The kids. Here's the model.
It's like, yo, you paint it.
That's great.
Your turn.
Yeah.
Like, no,
or you could paint. You can print it in white and then you paint it red. But I like that you printed it in red and painted it white because then it's less paint, right?
Way too much. Yeah, they were even asking me about the limbs because the limbs are supposed to be metal. I'm like, I'm not painting those limbs, guys.
That's funny how much detail they. Yeah. How
much detail every little thing. These freaking kids will tell you what is wrong with the thing you made.
Wow, that's a testament to paying attention to detail. Very cool. Yep. All right. Well, that is the Timelapse Tuesday. Fantastic work from FlexiArt.
Yes.
If you got a kid, they probably like it. Super cool. All right. Continuing on with Community Makes. We only have one this week. Let me share my screen here. This was posted up on printables.com from Feng Chi. Feng Chi posted up a make of the heat set insert rig. This is a little tool that you could use to create heat set inserts for printed things. And they printed it out in their own filament. And they got a piece of 2020 extrusion. They got the bearings all set up with a string. And it has this nice motion. And it looks like they have a really nice base here. I'm not sure if it's metal or not, but it looks pretty sturdy. And it's got mounting holes and stuff. So, yeah, no comment, but it's got a rating of 5 stars, which I'm happy about. And that makes a total of, yeah, me neither. And that makes, I guess, 14 makes so far on printables. And yeah, it's one of the popular tools that folks are printing. So that's this week's Community Makes.
All right.
Cool. Any last?
Yeah, there's no way to. I like how the comments get pulled in from most everywhere except Discord, right?
No, I mean we have Discord in the background as a tab, so that's what we got.
Just some highlights. Brent is saying that would be a really good guide to list parts that you might want to have on hand when things break.
Okay.
The PEI bed, I had to get 2 more. Luckily, I had 2 extras because they stopped adhering no matter what I did. I cleaned them. I did the wire mesh to try to rough up the surface. I got nothing.
Huh. Yeah, something about the coating. Something about the coating wears out.
The PLA, I think there's some sort of coating that after you print a certain amount of times on the same area over and over again, like, I don't know, smooths it out or something where it just does not stick at all. You can kind of see, and we didn't show the time lapse for the Boxy Boo, but you could see it start lifting up, even with as many brims as I had. So luckily I had extras. Tossed those other ones in the recycling, and because it's like metal sheets,
Sure, yeah.
Grabbed out my spares, hopped back on Amazon and ordered more.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone through thousands of hours of printing, so
oh my god,
wear and tear. Yeah,
and so much flexing and bending, and dust falls on it, and there's all the dog hair. Even after you wipe it down, like when you're repeatedly printing on something like for hours on end, like something like coats it that doesn't let it stick anymore.
Yeah, I don't think there's any material that's gonna last forever either. I remember when we were using Ultimakers, the glass bed that wore out. It like eats away at the glass at some points, especially with like different material like PET G and any of the nylons. Like they eat away
at the glass. Yeah, that happened with their flexible material.
Oh, Duestris says my best luck so far has been on a glass bed.
Yeah, we have spare glass bed too.
Yeah, and I just got finished saying like, oh, I remember the glass bed.
Yes, Brillo pad. Yeah, I tried that. It didn't work. so sad. It's like, dude, I don't want to. The only way to purchase these is with that magnetic backing, and it's like, man, I don't need another one of those. So it sucks, man.
All right, well, all good things to let people know that at some point you gotta replace it.
Bowden tubes. What is it? What's it called? The whole, not the motherboard, but like the drive board.
Oh,
I had to replace a whole one of those before multiple times.
Yeah. Well, you've only been printing for 10 years.
I mean, we have to have something ready like every single week. So it's like, dude, we can't mess around with this.
No, it's good. Yeah, and if you're doing a small print shop, you know the drill by now.
There you go, that too.
Yeah. At some points, we just replace the whole printer because it's easier, cheaper. Like your time is worth more, isn't it? Yeah. Forgot about your time. That's cool.
Cool.
All right.
One last look at the Raspberry Pi stuff. Maybe we missed it because I'm seeing on Twitter people saying that they had stuff in their cart and it disappeared.
Whoa.
So it didn't check out fast enough, or their account wasn't set up. So make sure that all that is set up.
Oh, so they're already gone. So they were available in the morning, but they're gone now.
Dang, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. Well, that's the world we live in.
So that is the show for this week. Later on tonight, though.
Yeah, later tonight we got the return of Ask an Engineer with Lamar and Phil. So they'll be back. We also have Show and Tell shortly before then at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This time it's going to be Liz Clark who will be hosting. So tune in to listen in. We still got that coupon code. This will work for the whole day, and it will close out tomorrow, Thursday. But for 24 hours, it's open. You got SnapFit is the discount code. And later on Ask Engineer, we'll have another coupon code too.
Sweet.
Yeah. I don't think you can apply 2 coupon codes. I don't think you can.
No.
It's just one per.
Pick one.
Yeah, pick one. That's either, it's the same, really.
It's really meant for if you need something now, so you don't have to wait all the way until next day for the shipping to actually go out. So if you need it by Friday,
Cool. Let's see. We have some banners here to close up the show. Yep. Show and Tell again tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You get an invite to the StreamYard to be a participant by heading over to the Discord chat room. So PT will drop a link, or rather Liz will drop a link down there like 5 or 10 minutes before the 7:30 time slot. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern Time is Ask an Engineer. Get some top secrets, some news, new products, and Ion MPI. And then tomorrow's JP's workshop. It's Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I think. Or maybe 5. No, I forget. I think there's a showtime. Yeah, do the showtime on Discord. I can't manage my windows. Here we go. It's pinned at the top as well. You could always look at that. And then I think the Desk of Lady Ada live stream happens on Sundays at random times. And that's it. That's going to be it for the show. Thank you, everybody in Discord and elsewhere, for hanging out with us. We appreciate y'all, and we hope everybody has good luck on their projects and more. Until next time, remember to
make a great day.
Bye, folks.
Good night.